The current affair at Current Affairs is that everyone has been fired for trying to form a workers' co-op. Here's what makes this funny. The majority of the staff at Current Affairs magazine, the leftist, specifically communist, bi-monthly magazine started by colorful suit fan Nathan J. Robinson, has been fired by their boss, a man who wears cravats and allegedly has a fake British accent. They announced the news in a public statement Wednesday morning. Here's how it starts. We, the former full and part-time staff, write to you with deep sadness and disappointment about the recent events that have occurred at Current Affairs. On August 8th, Editor-in-Chief Nathan J. Robinson, author of Why You Should Be a Socialist, unilaterally fired most of the workforce to avoid an organized restructuring that would limit his personal power. Yes, we were fired by the editor-in-chief of a socialist magazine for trying to start a worker co-op. Now, me personally, I'm loving this because what this signals is that the useful idiots are finally starting to turn on their puppet masters. The puppet masters who've been pulling the useful idiot strings all these years are slowly losing control of the monster they created. And said monster is slowly starting to turn on them. And I'm just like, motherfucker, get the popcorn. We're gonna laugh so hard. Now, if this guy wasn't a socialist, I'd be like, yeah, this is the correct way to handle it. If you start a company from scratch, you grow it up, you make it big enough so that you can start hiring more people, and then the people you hire decide they're basically going to launch a hostile takeover of your company, of course, the best solution, like the only correct response, is to fire all of them. Just shut the company down if that's what's going to happen. But since this guy's a socialist, nope, we got to hold him to his own standards. Now, the statement, which you can read in full, goes on to describe how the staff gathered for a Zoom meeting on August 7th to discuss the new work model. At the meeting, the staff writes, there was a palpable shift in Robinson's demeanor as he behaved in a hostile manner throughout the rest of the conversation. The next morning, he started removing people from the company Slack and sent letters requesting resignations, eliminating positions, and in some cases, offering new honorary titles which would have no say in governance. Oh, the champagne socialist doesn't like someone else actually seizing his power, huh? Now, I can guarantee you this is going to happen when a lot of billionaires, a lot of the elite support communism and socialism because they believe they'll be the ones in charge of redistributing the wealth. And then when they find out their wealth is also going to be redistributed, all of a sudden, they're going to have a lot of objections. And we're just going to point and laugh. Just bust out the popcorn. In a footnote, the staff clarified that Robinson technically asked most staff members to resign rather than directly fire them, but following the editor's removal from Slack and an announcement from Robinson that he would hire new staff members to replace them, managing and amusements editor Lita Gold asked if he was firing her. He replied, yeah. Someone greatly overestimated their value to the company. And I got to see something like this play out in real life, and it was just absolutely hilarious, where somebody decided that they would not ask for a raise from the company owner. They'd demand it. So this guy who thought he was irreplaceable walked into the CEO's office and basically said, hey, you either give me this raise or I'm quitting. And the CEO just said, bye. And the guy's attitude shifted immediately because he wasn't expecting that. He was like, oh, I'm on so many projects that are bringing the company millions of dollars. I'm irreplaceable. And the CEO was like, basically told him flat out, it's like, dude, I can fucking replace you tomorrow. Get out of my fucking face. So his ultimatum went from give me the raise or I quit to please let me have my job back. I need it. He was literally crying. And no, the CEO stood his ground. Like, no, man, you literally said you quit. So bye. You're not getting that raise. You're out of here. So regardless of who was right or wrong in that situation, I want you guys to learn your lesson from that. Never make an ultimatum that you're not willing to follow through on. This guy gave an ultimatum because he thought like he was 103% certain with a 3% margin of error that there's no way they could afford to lose him. The editor-at-large, Yassim Nair, who spoke to Gawker earlier this week and is not a salaried member of the staff, claimed the magazine had been operating as a workers' co-op, but not formally. Mainly, she said all salaried members were paid the same amount, $45,000 a year. That's pretty big money for this, to be honest. So it's an organization that is co-op-y and not too formally instituted as a co-op, Nair said. But I think that that is something we're all working on, trying to understand how do co-ops work exactly. You know, Current Affairs became very successful, much to our surprise. We did not go into this with the a structure that said this is what we are and this is who's in charge and so on. But when pushed to make that informal co-op model more formal, Robinson, who once wrote a critique of convenient liberalism titled "I Support Unions," not this one, yeah, sent this email. Yeah, the organization has been heading slowly for some sort of reckoning where it was going to have to be made clear once and for all what kind of authority I wanted to have over it. And I was in denial about the fact that I think the answer is I think I should be on top of the org chart with everyone else selected by me and appointed to me. Or reporting to me. I let Current Affairs build up into a sort of egalitarian community of friends while knowing in my heart that I still thought of it as my project over which I should have control. Hey, it's fair. I mean, if he did start it. So in a Twitter thread, Gold said that Robinson told her in particular that he wanted a managing editor who did what he said rather than pushing back. Well, that's fair. So, over a series of very long emails to us, Nathan J. Robinson confessed that he realized that he wanted to remain in control of the organization. I think I should be on top of the org chart, he wrote, with everyone else selected by me and reporting to me. He told me in particular he wanted a managing editor who did what he said rather than pushing back. Nathan and I always had a good working relationship. I thought he valued me as a partner in the enterprise. Turns out he thought I should be his servant. No, he thought that you should be his employee. The statement goes on to explain the magazine's board stepped in and attempted to figure out the appropriate severance, but that Current Affairs assets had reserved to fulfill obligations to their subscribers and creditors. Instead, the board placed the publication on hiatus for a month so that both Nathan and the former staff could remain on payroll through September. Current Affairs may come back the way it once was, or it may not, Gold wrote. It's dead. The employees are paid through the end of September, but no income or severance is guaranteed after that. So severance, by the way, is basically don't sue me money. It's like, here, we're going to give you this extra money for firing you on the condition that you sign away your right to sue us. Something tells me these guys won't have the money anyway. In the meantime, the staff has set up a Google group for updates on their next move. It's called Past Affairs Current Year. Yeah. I do love seeing these socialists get what's coming to them. Like, ordinarily, I would be on the owner's side, but since he's a socialist, and you know what? I hope every company you ever make, all your employees unionize and try to take it from you, because that's exactly what you want. You're going to own nothing and you'll be happier. Oh man, I am so excited to tell you guys right now that finally, after about a year of build-up and shilling, we have launched Blade Devil on Indiegogo, and so far it is doing so well thanks to awesome people like you. If you haven't backed it yet, then please check the links in the description and check out Blade Devil on Indiegogo. You will not be disappointed. Looking forward to seeing you there.